Ladies and gentlemen, directing our attention to the platform adjacent to the winner's circle now for our red jacket ceremony. Here is New York Racing Association CEO and President Chris Kay.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very special weekend at the Saratoga Race Course, a time we celebrate so much about this great sport that we love. We love the horses. Today is our annual New York Showcase Day when we shine a bright spotlight on the horses of the New York Bred program. And tomorrow is Travers Day, which will be the Saratoga equivalent to the Breeders' Cup. We have 7 graded stake races, 6 of them grade 1s, of course featuring the 147th running of the Travers, with a field of 14 horses, something that has not happened since 1977. But making this weekend even more special is the reason that we have gathered here in this place at this time, the 4th annual Red Jacket ceremony. Today is a day on which we honor some of the greats of our game, the men and women who have left an indelible mark on the horse racing industry and the Saratoga Race Course. This tradition started in 2013 when we celebrated 3 of the greatest jockeys in the history of the Saratoga Race Course and the horse racing industry, Angel Cordero Jr., Jerry Bailey, and John Velazquez. Jerry and Angel are here with us today. Let's give them a warm round of applause. In 2014, we presented red jackets to 3 more giants, legendary trainers D. Wayne Lucas and H. Allen Jerkins, and our incomparable race caller for many decades, Tom Durkin. Please join me in expressing our appreciation to Wayne, Tom, and the late Allen Jerkins. And last year, we celebrated the owner, the very lifeblood of our sport, by honoring 2 legends, Ogden Mills, Denny Phipps, and Mary Lou Whitney. Mary Lou, thank you for being here today. We are so appreciative You have enough control, you can get these things to stop? No, but your grace and your commitment to our sport, to the backstretch workers, and to the Saratoga community are so profound and so important, and therefore we were so glad to show our appreciation when we celebrated your 90th birthday, fittingly enough, on Whitney Day. Ladies and gentlemen, the beloved Mary Lou Whitney. The Walk of Fame is located just behind this building where it meets the backyard. It is a place where people of all ages can learn, appreciate, and respect the contributions and achievements of the outstanding men and women of our sport, the select few who have been honored with the Red Jacket. And today we are so pleased to induct 2 more outstanding people into the Walk of Fame, and to celebrate the success of prominent owner W. Catherine Cot Campbell of Dogwood Stables and trainer William Bill Mott. Thank you, Bill and Cot, for all you've done and all that you've given to the sport. Truly, the sport of horse racing would not be the same without you. Turning to our first inductee, Bill Mott is a 3-time Eclipse Award-winning champion trainer. During his career, Bill has made more than 4,600 trips to the winner's circle, and he's still going strong. I could go on and on talking about his success, but instead, please direct your attention to the video boards behind me and throughout the backyard for our tribute to Bill Mott.
Bill Mott was born in Mobridge, South Dakota. At an early age, he loved animals. He would watch his dad, a veterinarian, work on all types of animals. But it was the horse that he felt closest to. Many would consider Mott a prodigy. In high school, he owned and trained his first horse, a $320 mare named My Assets. He won races with her at unrecognized meets in his home state of South Dakota and got his first victory with her at the now defunct Park Jefferson at the age of 15. He took some of those winnings to purchase a horse named Cosmic Tour, who would go on to win the South Dakota Futurity while he was still in high school.
I got $3,800 to the winner, and I thought I was the richest guy in South Dakota at that point in time.
After high school, Mott got his schooling in the barns of Bob Irwin and Jack Van Berg, working his way up from exercise rider to assistant trainer. Once Mott went on his own in 1978, he quickly proved to be an elite trainer at Churchill Downs. 9 years later, he was ready to tackle the Big Apple, and his first year based in New York, a showy colt named Theatrical would provide the spotlight.
Who became my first Breeders' Cup winner and my first champion. We won 6 Grade 1s with him that year, a champion turf horse and a very good horse.
What more could you ask for? One of America's greatest cross performers, Theatrical, and he ran the race of his life this afternoon.
In 1994, Cigar came to Mott's barn as a horse who had shown some ability on the grass. But after 4 disappointing efforts, Mott put Cigar on the dirt. Cigar would never run on the turf again.
Cigar is just waltzing home here.
In April of 1995, Cigar had won 5 straight, and Mott told the barn that something special was happening.
I remember telling my assistants at that point, you know, I said, I think we're going to be headed for something very special here. I said, I don't know if we're ever going to have another horse like this in our lifetime.
One of the great ones indeed.
So you put Thunder Gulch away, and now you're back in 3 weeks for the BC Classic. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Hope it doesn't rain.
It reads 3-5 for would-be champion Cigar. And they're off. And Cigar is keyed up today.
Racetrack came up muddy, and it was like all of a sudden, uh-oh, here's something we've never done before. We didn't know. Now I'm like on pins and needles because I don't know if this horse is going to handle the mud, how he's going to handle the slop.
And here he is, the incomparable, invincible, unbeatable Cigar!
At age 6, Cigar would conquer the world in the inaugural $4 million Dubai World Cup.
And Cigar is digging deep. He's never had to fight harder. He's coming back. It's going to be Cigar. It's going to take him up to the line. Cigar by 3 minutes. 14 out of 14 for Cigar.
Cigar would win 16 straight, tying the great Citation, before his remarkable streak would come to an end.
Cigar is an unstoppable dynamo.
In 1998, at the age of 45, Mott became the youngest trainer to ever be inducted into the National Museum of Racing and Hall of Fame. Mott continued to rack up Breeders' Cup victories, winning the Breeders' Cup Distaff 3 straight years.
Here is a champion again.
Mott would mold Drosselmeyer into a classic winner. The leggy colt took the 2010 Belmont Stakes, giving Mott his first Triple Crown victory.
Drosselmeyer, an upset winner.
And a year later, Drosselmeyer would be the upset winner in the Breeders' Cup Classic.
Yes, Drosselmeyer out of the clouds.
In all, Mott has trained 7 year-end champions. He's won 3 Outstanding Trainer Eclipse Awards. And Mott has thrived at Saratoga, winning 9 training titles. And in a sport built on bloodlines, Bill Mott sees a bit of himself at his second barn at Saratoga. It's run by his 24-year-old son, Riley.
He really earned his way up to what he is now. I mean, nothing was ever given to him. I try to take that, you know, from him and try to imply that into my career. Him being, you know, my dad and my boss all in one is pretty cool. We have a pretty neat relationship.
Bill and his wife Tina enjoyed their Saratoga summers so much that in 2002, they decided to call it home and raise their family. From South Dakota to the Saratoga Walk of Fame. For Mott, it's hard to fathom sometimes.
I remember, you know, when I was a kid, I was 14 working for the Asmussens, and we were We were at Fort Pierre, South Dakota, running horses. I remember sitting in the front of a GMC truck with the AM radio on, listening to the Kentucky Derby. As I said, you know, I'm in South Dakota. I mean, I could never, at that point, I never imagined being out of South Dakota. It wasn't even a dream at that point. I thought that was for somebody else. But now to be inducted into the Walk of Fame, I think with, you know, the select people that have been put in there in this very short period of time that they've had this going on, it's very special.
Here today as Bill's presenter is a longtime friend, owner, and a client of Bill's dating back to the early 1980s. Dr. J. David Richardson has been actively involved in racing and breeding since 1975 and has been the past chair and currently is a member of the Kentucky Horse Racing Commission and now serves as the chairman of the Thoroughbred Owners and Breeders Association. And in his spare time, Dr. Richardson is also a renowned surgeon. He serves as the president of the American College of Surgeons, 85,000 strong. David, we are so pleased you could be here today for this very special moment. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. David Richardson.
Thank you, Chris. Certainly my great pleasure to introduce this year's trainer for the Red Jacket Award, Bill Mott. Generally, when brief comments are made about Bill or written about him, they note the facts that were just noted. Trainer of the Mighty Cigar, winner of 16 in a row, and the youngest ever inducted into the Hall of Fame. However, as this is a Saratoga recognition, I wanted to focus for a moment on his record at what I think is clearly the most competitive meet in America, has been and sure continues to be till this time. And I would suggest that the accomplishments that he's had at this meet through the years probably even beats Cigar in being the youngest member of the Hall of Fame. As was mentioned, Bill's been the leading trainer here for 9 times, which is an amazing record. But from 1990 to 2016, this year, Bill has won a stake here in 25 of the 26 years in which he's trained. It's an amazing record if you think about it. And in 24 of those years, he's won at least one graded stake. Most of the time, he's won multiple graded stakes in these events. His only miss, ironically, was in 1997, and he was still the leading trainer that year. Whether it's on dirt or grass, short or long, colt or filly, Bill has excelled. But as a great a trainer as Bill is, and I think he obviously is a great one, he is, in my view, even a better person. Bill is a man of the highest character and the greatest degree of personal integrity. And I can think of no person more deserving of this great honor than the man from Mobridge, William I. Mott.
Thank you. It's a great honor to be up here and to join the other members of this club that are now in the Red Jacket Hall of Fame, Walk of Fame. I think they've been some of the greatest ambassadors of the sport, and it's hard to fathom that I even can sit next to these people. I think I've got so many people to thank, particularly my staff, the assistant trainers, the grooms, the hot walkers, the exercise riders. I'm so grateful for them, for the people, for the owners that have backed me and my staff and all of us in the stable. There's far too many to mention, but there's been so many loyal people that have been with us for so many years. And most of all, I think I need to thank my family, my wife Tina, my son Riley is here. I think they've served me the stability that I need to continue on with this endeavor on a daily basis. And I think that's probably been one of the biggest reasons that we can keep forging forward day to day. I thank all the fans. I think everybody here in Saratoga is wonderful, and I couldn't think of a greater place in the world to have this happen. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Bill. Author, visionary, and longtime horseman Cot Campbell made his mark on horse racing starting in 1969 when he pioneered one of the sport's most innovative concepts, syndicated racehorse ownership. It has transformed the sport. Thousands of people who would not have been able to own a racehorse on their own, but thanks to Cot, they are now able to own a portion of a racehorse. And therefore, they're able to know the joy, the drama, the excitement, and the pride of owning a sports franchise. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would, please direct your attention to the video boards for our tribute to Cot Campbell.
Cot Campbell brought creativity, passion, and a vibrant Southern panache to the sport of kings that has spanned over 5 decades. Cot's love of the horse started as a child, and at the age of 17, Cot served in the U.S. Navy before choosing to become an ad man. By the late 1960s, Campbell had climbed his way to the top of the ad game, serving as chairman of Burton Campbell. Despite the demands of his job, he bought a couple of horses with some pals and managed the partnership. Before long, Campbell had 18 horses and 45 investors. But it was the winning ways of the talented filly Mrs. Cornwallis that led publications to write articles about Cot's new approach to ownership. Cot knew his horse racing side gig had evolved past the point of just being a hobby.
And the first thing I knew, the tail was wagging the dog. And I either had to be in the horse business or the advertising business. And went in the horse business, and the only person that thought it made any sense was my wife, Ann. Thought it was a great idea.
By 1987, Cot and his wife Ann had fallen in love with Aiken, South Carolina. They decided to make Aiken their new home, a move that streamlined Dogwood's operation without the challenges of running a large farm. The very next year, Cot would purchase an unnamed yearling for $300,000 that would elevate Dogwood Stable to a whole new stratosphere. The horse would be named Summer Squall. He would win Saratoga's iconic 2-year-old stakes races, the Hopeful and Saratoga Special.
Summer Squall in front.
At age 3, Summer Squall won his final Kentucky Derby prep as the 1-5 favorite in the Bluegrass Stakes.
Here's the finish. Summer Squall by a length and 3/4.
Well, this is certainly the most important horse we have ever had, and he becomes more important by the minute.
There's no better advertising than being featured on a national network during the broadcast of America's most famous race.
Cot Campbell bought an unnamed yearling here for $300,000, then syndicated it in a package. He named it Summer Squall and rounded up 27 co-owners. He's good at it because Cot Campbell invented this kind of horse ownership.
Summer Squall would have to settle for second in the Derby. 2 Saturdays later, Dogwood would get the best of Unbridled in the Preakness.
Summer Squall has turned the tables on Unbridled. It's Summer Squall and Pat Day to win the Preakness.
That was a great moment. It really was. We faced Unbridled 6 times and beat him 4 times. But he won the Derby and the Breeders' Cup.
For over 4 decades, Dogwood Stables would be a major player in horse racing. In 1996, Storm Song would take the Frizette and then give Dogwood their first Breeders' Cup victory.
It's going to be Storm Song in a championship performance.
Storm Song would be named champion 2-year-old filly. Cot would also receive a Personal Eclipse Award in 2004 for personal contributions to racing. And in 2012, at the age of 84, Cot would spot his next big horse.
This Palace Malice, 5-year-old horse by Curlin.
He's always picked them out. He's never needed or welcomed too much advice. He doesn't like to take people around with him to look at horses when he was buying.
Palace Malice would give Cot his second Triple Crown win in the 145th running of the Belmont Stakes. 4 decades after Cot's vision of Dogwood, racing partnerships have exploded. There are 64 racing syndicates in America alone, and more importantly, they've attracted tens of thousands of new owners who might have otherwise never experienced the joys of owning a racehorse.
They call it the sport of kings, and you know, for a certain time that was certainly the case. You had to have a lot of means to be able to participate as an owner of a thoroughbred racehorse. But with the advent of syndicates, which Cot had everything to do with, now more people can play.
I did probably know how to present it. One, I bent over backwards to say that it probably wasn't going to make money. It might make money. It was going to have a tax advantage if it did not, and it was going to put a lot of zest and excitement in your life.
If Cot was a singer, you know, he'd be Frank Sinatra. That's how stylish he is. Very good for racing. His family, his wife Ann. Just an amazing run.
Cot once found Saratoga intimidating. It now holds a special place in his heart.
No one ever appreciated the tone and the personality of Saratoga more than me.
He has had so many honors throughout his career. I just feel this is the greatest because it comes at this time in his life. This is a bombshell of excitement and honor, and it just couldn't have come at a better time.
Cot Campbell has selected as his presenter Wayne Lucas. Now, you've heard the expression, this man needs no introduction, and certainly that would be true for Wayne Lucas in this environment. So I will just say this. I can think of nothing more fitting, nothing more perfect than for one of the great horsemen and one of the great gentlemen of our sport, Wayne Lucas, to present one of the great horsemen and one of the great gentlemen of our sport, Cot Campbell. Wayne Lucas.
Boy, thank you for coming out. This is a little bit hot. We're in the shade there under an umbrella, but it says a lot about this ceremony that you'd all be out here standing in the heat in the sun. This is all about tradition, and nowhere is tradition more entrenched in the landscape and in the area of Saratoga more than here. Saratoga is all about tradition, and you people as fans have made it that way for over 100 and some years. Now, NYRA, with the leadership of Chris Kay, has made the Red Jacket ceremony a permanent club that would recognize some of these people, some of them behind me, some of them that aren't here, some of them that wanted to be here and have since passed away, but have made it a permanent club so we can always celebrate these people in this very select club. A few years ago, I wrote, if you want to be happy for a day, go fishing. If you want to be happy for a week, get a puppy. If you want to be happy for a month, get married. If you want to be happy for a year, win the lottery. But if you want to be happy for a lifetime, get a racehorse. Now, Ann, that marriage part, I wrote that a long time ago, so that doesn't pertain to you at all. Cot Campbell made it possible for people to be happy forever. All the way from the top, his good friend Paul Orfis, chairman of Dow Chemical, to the family of 5 that probably were getting into syndication and spending their college kids' fund to do it. But that's how this sport is, and that's how it draws you together. He covered all the gauntlet. He made it possible for everybody and pioneered a system that has let so many people enjoy our wonderful sport. And not only that, he did it with class and dignity, and he made it fun. Barbecues, newsletters, he made it fun. He made it part of it. He told them they weren't going to make any money, but we kept that a secret a lot, but Cot brought it right out in the open. How about this? 80 stakes winners. 80. 15 of them were grade ones. A Belmont, a Preakness, a world champion filly, a Breeders' Cup. Goes on and on. 2 Eclipse Awards. And then everything in between, from Summer Squall, which you just saw in the video, to Palace Malice, who beat me in a couple races, and I'll never forgive you for that, Cot. He was a visionary, and he had an extraordinary eye for a good horse. Nobody needed to help him at the sales. He found them, and he signed them up, and he got people involved. He also shared his experiences in a couple of really, really good books. And they're still out there on the market. And if you haven't read Lightning in a Jar, or his second book, it was, what was it, Cot? What was it? Rascals and Racehorses. There was a third one, wasn't there? Yeah, there was 3. Memoirs of a long shot, yes. Now, you can still get those in the book, and I know Scott's still getting royalties, so if you haven't read them, be sure and do that. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to really a damn nice guy and a class act, Cot Campbell.
Thank you, Wayne. Those are nice words from a man who is truly a legend in his own time. That is a phrase that's bandied about, but in his case, it surely applies. I thank Naira, I thank good old Saratoga, and I thank Chris Kay. And let me say this about Chris Kay: the most demanding, the most crucial, the most important job on the planet in thoroughbred racing is the one that he holds, and we're lucky, lucky, lucky to have him. I am, it's a great honor to be inducted into the Walk of Fame with a guy like Bill Mott, great trainer, great human being. I'm just thrilled, and I'm surprised, and I don't know how it happened. I'm like a guy that went bear hunting with a slingshot, and damn if I didn't kill the bear. But it's a wonderful thing, and half a century ago, when I bought a horse, I thought it made sense to have a legal document, a limited partnership. And I asked a couple of experts in Kentucky about it, and they said that would be a very stupid idea. But after half a century, it seems that energy and enthusiasm have overcome stupidity and bad judgment. Other partnerships have come along and embellished the idea, tweaked it, and it is one of the major forces in racing today. Now, I am 88 years old. For the past 10 years, as you can imagine, the word retirement has reared its ugly head, but I have fought it off. But 2 years ago, I had the opportunity to merge with a fine outfit called Eclipse Thoroughbred Partners, and I seized that opportunity, and now I'm very happy to say many of the ex-Dogwood partners are happily embedded with Eclipse and enjoying good success. The stable, therefore, because of that, is down from what was 65, a roster of 65, to 4, and they are owned by the Campbell family. 2 of those horses are trained by Todd Pletcher, and I've been with Todd for 20 years, and he has done a marvelous job for me. 2 more are trained by Gary Contessa, and he too has been very successful. I'm proud to be associated with men like that. I'm overwhelmed when I think of the wonderful life that racing has given me. It's an exciting, colorful, glamorous life. This is an industry that is populated by charismatic, colorful, weird, interesting people. You've got to be a little crazy to be involved. And I want to thank all the trainers and all the grooms and all the hot walkers and all the fans and all of everybody for making it what it is. And I in particular want to thank my great partners who have been a stellar group for so many years, and without them, this does not happen. There never lived a human being more enamored of a racehorse and a good horse race. And I get a kick out of knowing that during my lifetime, I have viewed practically every great horse from Man o' War up to California Crow. And if you're doing the arithmetic, I saw some of them in retirement. But this is such a great thing that I will have to continue it. There's no way that you could walk away from horse racing. So as long as I'm upright, there will always be a Dogwood stable. And it will be, we have wonderful offices in Aiken, South Carolina. I've got more people on the staff than I've got horses, and I'm going to keep it that way. But the Dogwood people through the years have been wonderful. I've got one guy here today that's been with me for 40 years, and another one for 25 years, and I'm proud of them, and they've done so much to make us successful. My family's here. 2 outstanding daughters have gone to a lot of trouble to get here. Both of them worked for Dogwood at one time. I've got a world-class son-in-law, and I've got a splendid granddaughter who also worked for Dogwood. But there is another. 57 years ago in LaGrange, Georgia, I married a young woman, and that is the best move I ever made. She has contributed enormously to the excitement, to the fun, to the success of my life. If I have started some fires, she fanned the flames, believe me. So I want to thank Ann Campbell and I will look for what she is now and what she has always been. So I thank you all. I thank the players and the gamblers and the fans, and God bless you and keep coming. And now I'm going to stop and I'm going to strut up and down the grandstand till the sun goes down. Thank you.
Well, let me assure you, Cot, if you strut down the grandstand, you will be hugged enormously and often. So, Bill and Cot, I have just 3 final comments. First, it is my privilege to officially welcome you to the Walk of Fame. Second, congratulations. And third, if you would please join me to unveil your plaques that will reside in the Walk of Fame in about an hour from now, forever and ever. Gentlemen. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This concludes our program. Have a great day.